never should have taken this job. I couldn't just wash dishes or something. No, I just had to go get a job as a security guard. Because I had something to prove, apparently. Don't know why I needed to do that. I don't have anyone to prove anything to. And it's not like I'm a security guard at a super popular shopping center or Disneyland. I work at a rundown old pizza joint called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The company used to be massive in the 80s, but they had a lot of legal trouble and a lot of bad press. And that should have been enough for me not to even consider this job, but when I saw this position was available, I had to take it. You see, Freddy's, it's a special place to me. A place in which my childhood wonders could fully reach out and explore. Freddy and the gang always put a smile on my face, and I haven't smiled in a long time since I was a child. I think that's why I decided to come back. But soon Freddy and his friends would show me that smiles are for the children. You see, this place, it's very different come nighttime. It's always captivated me how a place that brings such joy can also bring terror. So for anyone who is brave enough, or perhaps stupid enough to work this job, I have a small list of rules that you need to follow if you want to survive. Listen carefully and follow the rules. Break any of these rules and you will die. It's quite black and white. Rule number 1, always be on time. Your shift starts at 12 a.m. and finishes at 6 a.m. You must always make sure you arrive on time and leave on time. Don't enter the building late, and don't leave the building early. Feel free to arrive an extra hour early if you feel you might be held up in traffic or something. Although, it is the night shift after all. This rule is mostly to make sure you don't lose your job. However, there is another reason, and trust me when I say you don't want to find out what happens if you do. Rule number 2, never fall asleep. This one is quite simple. Be awake and alert the whole time. Don't ever fall asleep, no matter how tired you get. If you do, you will die. And if you don't die, well, you're going to lose your job. Rule number 3, never leave the office. At Freddy's, we get our very own office. It's hot and humid, but we get a little desk fan to cool down with. Plus, it's the only room in the building that has a light on, so you might as well stay put. But that's not the only reason. See, the reason these rules are in place is because the animatronic characters move around at night. Yeah, I know you don't believe me, but it's true. And for whatever reason, if they see a person after hours, they kill them. The company's excuse is that they are programmed to put a costume on any naked endoskeletons because it's against the rules. But after hours, they think that people are those endos, so they stuff you instead, and trust me when I say that is a horrible way to go. Every bone in your body will break as your eyes burst out and your lungs collapse. So your office isn't really just a place to chill out. It's literally your only chance of survival. Otherwise, you're crawling around in the dark and you will be found out there. So just stay put in the office. After all, you got a big ass door on each side, which you can close if an animatronic gets too close. The doors are magnetically sealed, so no amount of pounding on the door will let the animatronic get in. However, the building doesn't have a lot of power, and the doors take up a lot of power, which is actually our next rule. Rule number 4. Whatever you do, don't run out of power. If you run out of power, you can't close any doors, and the animatronics know this. If they hear you run out of power, they will be sure to come straight for you. And the last thing you will hear are your own eardrums bursting as a Freddy mask full of wires and animatronic devices comes slamming into your skull. Now, the animatronics are fortunately a little bit childish in that they want to play a game with you. No animatronic will just camp at your door and just drain all your power. Where's the fun in that? Instead, you have to keep track of them on the camera system in your office to make sure you're only closing the door when you absolutely need to. And they start off easy. At the start of the week, only occasionally will they slowly make their way to your office, testing your reaction time before they employ more dirty tactics. One will distract you while another tries to sneak in. They'll get into a pattern only to change it up when you get too comfortable. And don't get me started on Foxy. He'll straight up charge your office if you don't watch him enough or something like that. You just better be ready when he decides to charge. Rule number 5. Never let Freddy get near your office. Freddy actually doesn't come off stage very often. He mostly will chill for most of the night and let everyone else do his dirty work for him. However, if you get too comfortable, Freddy might change his mind. And Freddy moves stupidly fast. And he's sneaky about it too. One minute he'll be on the stage, and the next he'll be peeking out from the back room. You better keep track of him, because once he makes it to your office, he never leaves. Freddy never backtracks. You can only impede his progress. Now, if you keep an eye on Freddy, he won't come to your office. Watching him on the cameras is essential. Don't lose sight of him. Rule number 6. Don't ask too many questions. For whatever reason, the higher-ups don't like to talk about why their mascots decide to kill people at night. And bad things tend to happen to people who are too nosy. Just keep to yourself and you'll be fine. They tell you all you need to know. Rule number 7. This is the most important rule. Never, under any circumstances, attempt to enter the safe room next to the restrooms. And that's about everything I can fit into this recording. I'll fill you in as the week goes on. You're taking my shift now. I'll be out in a few days and I'll finally be free of this place. Just conserve your power, keep track of everyone, and you'll be fine. So sit back and relax. Nothing bad will happen if you just follow the rules.